Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Hunt, Chief Executive of Pharmacist Support, the independent charity. Thanks so much for inviting me along to speak to you today. I just wanted to start by introducing the charity because I'm aware that some of you might not have heard of Pharmacist Support, but we've actually been around for a really long time. We're established by the Royal Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain back in 1841. So we spent nearly 180 years supporting members of our pharmacy family through difficult times. We actually became an independent charity back in 2006, and we support people right from students, trainees, working pharmacists through to retirement. And because we are an independent charity, you don't have to be a member of our organisation to access any parts of our support. We do recognise that at any point in your journey, you might face difficult or challenging times, and you might just need a bit of support, advice, guidance, or even just a supported listening ear. And that's something that we can provide for you. So we actually launched a new strategy back in 2020, and this very much focuses on wellbeing. So I just wanted to share what we're all about, really. So our new vision is that no one in our pharmacy family will face challenging times without us by their side. And our new mission is to champion the wellbeing of our pharmacy family. And we do that in a number of ways. And to kind of respond to the needs of our pharmacy family, we have over the years established a range of free and confidential support services. So this includes information and inquiry service, a debt, benefit and employment advice service, an addiction support service, a peer-to-peer listening service called Listening Friends, and our Wardley Wellbeing service that is very much focused on tools and support to help you support your own wellbeing, and this includes workshops and resources. We also have a financial assistance programme, particularly for students. We have the Student Hardship Grant. So this is grants of up to £1,500 per academic year that you can access to assist you with everyday living costs should you be facing financial difficulties. We also have a student bursary scheme. So this is for third year students about to enter their final year of study and maybe facing adversity. These awards are awarded between £3,000 and £5,000 and can be used towards your tuition fees to alleviate some of that financial pressure around the exam time. We also try to respond to changing needs. So we worked really closely with the BPSA last month to open a limited grant fund for those who'd face difficulties around the March registration assessment. For those who were unable to secure a place within 50 miles of their home, we were able to provide some financial support for travel, accommodation, and this fund's actually still open to the 9th of April. So if you know anybody who needs to access that, you can let them know. And I think it's always good not to just take it from me. And I wanted to just share a brief quote from one of our bursary recipients. I think just from reading that quote on the screen, you can see the real positive impact something like that can have. So if that is something that you're interested in, you can go onto our website and read a little bit more about our bursary scheme and who can access it. So I've mentioned the word wellbeing a lot, and I've talked a lot about it, but what is it? So to us, wellbeing is about creating the conditions to allow us to thrive and flourish as individuals. It really means looking holistically at our entire life experience and then taking steps to promote positive outcomes. So it's really about the ball being in our court. And I really like this example of thinking about our well-being as a battery. There's definitely things that will drain our well-being and our battery, and there's things that we can do to help charge our battery. So how might we do this, you might ask? Well, first of all, we need to be really aware of what well-being is and what we can do to promote positive action. So last year, we launched our first ever wellbeing campaign called ACTNow. And this was really in response to our market research that we carried out in 2019 when we asked people what they wanted to see from the charity, but also recognising we just entered a pandemic and it was particularly challenging for people. So the campaign really was to raise awareness about the importance of wellbeing and then encourage positive action. So the aim of the campaign was to support those working and studying in pharmacy to prioritise their own mental health and wellbeing. And we wanted to encourage those conversations around mental health and provide that safe space and those simple solutions to enable everybody to take action. The ACTNow campaign really encourages individuals to allow time for wellbeing, to consider needs of other people, particularly their colleagues, and to take action. And following the success of last year's ACTNow Wellbeing campaign, we've committed to run this campaign in 2021. But in line with some of the feedback from the campaign, we've decided to split it up so it's more targeted for the different groupings within our pharmacy family. So we're going to have a student-focused campaign, a campaign focused on trainees, and one focused on pharmacists. Each campaign will run at key pressure points in the year and focus on particular needs for those groups or particular issues from feedback that we've had. So we're actually kicking off this year's activity with our student-focused ACTNow campaign, so ahead of the exam period, because from feedback we were told that would be a useful time to run the campaign. We're absolutely delighted to be teaming up with the BPSA on this campaign, and we'll be running lots of campaign activity as part of the BPSA annual conference this week. So on to this week's campaign activities, because we've got lots planned. So hopefully you should have received a schedule of activity for the campaign that looks like this on the screen. Obviously you can't read how tiny that is, but you can access this through a link and you should have received it. If not, you can contact us. You'll need to sign up for the campaign before Wednesday, the 7th of April, in order for you to receive a Keep Learning pack. You can sign up for this on our website. So if you just go to our Wellbeing Hub and look for ACTNow, you can sign up there. And I'd really encourage you to do that, because the Keep Learning pack is a great resource. It's packed full of wellbeing material, focused on students. There's revision planners, guidance, and ways to introduce just wellbeing into your everyday life. So it's a really good resource. And it also has what activities we've got planned for this week, which I will talk through, but there's some really good stuff going on. So if we just move on from last year's campaign, this year we are definitely more focused about putting wellbeing into practice and incorporating those really simple wellbeing activities into your everyday. We think it's really important to build small steps for change. So these activities will be based around the 5 ways to wellbeing, which are, if you've not heard of the 5 ways to wellbeing before, it's about taking notice, connecting, being active, keeping learning and giving. A combination of all these behaviours will really help enhance an individual's wellbeing and may help the potential to reduce mental health disorders, reduce stress. It really helps to prompt people into thinking about those things that they need to prioritise in day-to-day activities. I think for us, we definitely understand that the exam period can be particularly stressful for students. So we hope by building in some of these simple activities into your regular routine, you'll be able to better manage those pressures and anxieties as you face them. There's some really nice tools on there that you can then take on your journey, but if you start to build them in now, we think they'll really help. So hopefully you'll have time to have a little look about how you might be able to do that. And as I say, we keep developing these resources, so keep an eye out. So I'm just going to go into some of the activities we're doing around each of the 5 ways to wellbeing. So I'll start with take notice. So just to explain a little bit more about this, according to the charity Mind, which I'm sure you've heard of, being aware of what is taking place in the present directly enhances your wellbeing, and savouring those moments can help to reaffirm your life priorities. Taking time to enjoy the moment and the environment around you will also help your enhance your self-awareness. So some people call this awareness mindfulness, and you've probably heard about that before. There's apps that can support you with practicing mindfulness. For me personally, when I think about taking notice, it's about taking that time to stop. So, you know, I rush around all the time. If you go out for a walk, it's about taking time to look around you and not just walking head down. It's about really being focused on the things around. And it does take a little bit of time to do this. So we're hoping to help with that this week to build this in. So on the screen there, we've got our ACTNow Take Notice board. Very clever from our marketing and comms team to build that in. But this is a really great resource. So what we're hoping to do is to encourage you all to build in time into your day just for you, to enjoy and appreciate the things around you and the people around you. So we created this digital Take Notice board, and it's a place for you to share photos from your daily walks, positive reflections of the day. We really encourage you to have a look at that. You can share things, but you might just want to read what other people have been up to. You can give people inspiration for what they might be able to do if they're lacking that bit of inspiration. Giving yourself time to really enjoy the moments can bring those kind of little moments of joy. And it's so incredibly simple to do. And I know it's something that the BPSA executive team will be participating in this week, and they'll be sharing through the notice board. So please take a look at that. And then if we go on to the next one, so connect is one of the 5 ways to well-being. And this is really important because social connections are frequently highlighted as one of the most important factors, not only for well-being, but for longer-term resilience. Evidence suggests that feeling close to and valued by other people is a fundamental human need, and one that contributes to functioning well in the world. It can be as simple as talking to someone on the phone instead of sending that text or email. It's about thanking people when you're really grateful for their time. It's about reaching out and giving people a boost, really. And I know it's been incredibly difficult if we think about the times we've been through and the pandemic. I think we've all felt that lack of social connection has left us feeling not great at times, and that people have found really nice ways to connect virtually. So in terms of our activity this week, we've got an exciting opportunity to connect through the BPSA social night, and that's via a quiz. So this Tuesday, tomorrow at 9 p.m, we'll be running a quiz with the BPSA. This is going to be a really great opportunity to meet, connect and unwind with other pharmacy students, and you might connect with people you've not met with before. So I would really encourage you to get involved in that and to connect to help your well-being. And then be active. So this is probably the one most people know about, and they know about the positive benefits of physical activity. But being regularly physically active really can make a huge difference to happiness and well-being. It may also help you feel better about yourself. It boosts confidence. It can improve your self-esteem. It definitely gives you energy and can help you sleep better. It reduces the risk of stress and depression. So it's really important. And there's a lot of talk around this all the time. And it doesn't necessarily mean going off and signing up for a gym or starting marathon training. It can be really short activity, and it's about embedding it into your activity. So a short daily walk could be a really good thing to try and plan in. Maybe thinking about taking the stairs instead of a lift. It's like really simple things, but it's just being mindful of being more active and ways you can build it in a little bit more. So here at the charity, at Pharmacist Support, at 4 p.m. daily, some of our team connect over Zoom and move about for 5 minutes. They choose from all sorts of different things, online workout videos, but they sometimes just have a good stretch. They do plank challenges. And it's really just about getting the body moving and having a giggle. It can be really quite funny. So we thought we'd bring some of that to you, and we wanted to bring a taster of that. So at 12:05 on Tuesday and Friday this week, you can join previous BPSA exec member and one of our fabulous charity ambassadors, Reese Llewellyn, in a Be Active session. So Reese will be getting you all moving and stretching live on Instagram. So you can see from the schedule when that is, and you can join and get a bit active. So we just move on to give. So seeing yourself and your happiness linked to the wider community can be incredibly rewarding and creates connections with people around you. And I'm sure moving into the pharmacy profession, you've thought about that wider link to the community and the impact you're going to have. But we can all do this a lot more. So it can be really as simple as showing a smile, reaching out to somebody for a few minutes, signposting them to the charity if you think they need support. So on Thursday morning at 10 a.m, we shall be hosting an informal chat with one of our other student ambassadors and BPSA Northern Area Coordinator, Joanna McDowell, who will be sharing with us her experience of volunteering. She's going to just share her views on the benefits she's seen from giving up her time and how that can then have a positive impact on your own mental health and sense of well-being. Now, unfortunately, there are some great opportunities to volunteer at the charity, but due to the pandemic, some of that volunteer activity has been on hold. But we're really excited this year. The charity enters its 180th year, and part of this, we're going to relaunch our volunteer schemes. So there'll be hopefully lots of opportunities for you to get involved. If you keep an eye out, you'll be able to see from our website, from our social media, or better still, you can sign up to receive our charity newsletter if you're interested in volunteering for us and the types of opportunities that you might be able to get involved in. Some of them are really quite fun and some of them can be just around fundraising, doing some sort of activity or challenge. So it can be as little or as much time as you want. And finally, learn. So as students, we recognise that you're continually learning at the moment. And this is a really important element, not only of your wellbeing, but it's taking you on your pharmacy journey. But we can think about learning in a different way as well. Research suggests that learning gives direction to people's lives. It can also help you develop socially, so develop new friendships, increase social support networks. So it links to some of the other 5 ways to wellbeing. So learning doesn't just have to be formal. So I know you're studying now, but it might be nice to think about some other activities away from that formal learning that you're doing to kind of increase some of that social support network. So it could just be as simple as kind of learning a new skill or hobby or getting involved in an online group. I know through the pandemic, we've had feedback from people who's taken up playing an instrument, like an old hobby that they had. They've learned to cook. Someone even told us about taking up a plumbing course, which was really interesting, but it's just something practical and different. So that could be something you could be interested in as well, but fitting it into a time when I know you're really busy studying and learning. So that just touches on some of the activity we're doing this week, and I really hope that you're keen to get involved. If you've been inspired by any of this and you really want to find out more about the campaign and some ideas and how we can support your wellbeing, we do have loads of resources and inspiration on our Wardley Wellbeing Hub. By signing up to the campaign, as I mentioned at the beginning, you'll get your Keep Learning pack of resources that are focused on you, but you'll also be able to access the hub. So if there are particular areas you're interested in, you probably can't see it on the screen to the left, but there's some particular resources focused on tackling stress, or if you're feeling anxious, things that you could do. If you're not sleeping great, things that you could put in place to help you improve sleep. There's just general tips on managing well-being. And the really important bit is the sharing of stories. So the feedback from this section when we ran the campaign last year was really positive, because it helps people kind of see what others are going through. And through that, people share kind of stories and tips and coping mechanisms, particularly for difficult and challenging times. So I'd urge you to go and have a look at that. So that's enough talking from me. I hope that you have a fantastic conference this week and really enjoy some of the simple wellbeing activities we've got lined up for you. I'd just really like to say a huge thank you to Sean and the BPSA exec for their continued support of the charity, and remind you all that should you need us at any time, at any point in your pharmacy career, remember we're here for you. If anything, just remember this short presentation and look us up on the website. Finally, if you do have any questions about anything I've talked about today, or our free and confidential advice, the campaign, how to get involved in our work, the team will be available tomorrow as part of the BPSA day session to answer any questions you may have. So have a great week. Thanks for listening and enjoy the activity.
There is no typical day. You might have lectures, simulation workshops, which are simulated patients, or you might have a lab. With that comes pre-work for the lab. You have a workshop a week to consolidate previous teaching from lectures. In terms of maintaining a work-life balance, it's knowing that you're not always going to have it balanced, and that's not the end of the world. If you get too caught up on it, it can have the opposite effect of you just don't want to do anything. The thing that's been underlying the entire course is that patient focus. You are in uni and you might be doing a case study that is a fake patient, but you're still talking about a real person and you are dealing with life and death essentially.
You do have a lot of responsibility, and that's why it's such a vigorous course. There's always things to learn as you develop and as you step into new roles, and so I think just trying to keep on top of it to make sure that I am the best I can be. That's probably one of my biggest worries.
Is that risk factor of being confident in yourself, the risk of that confidence being misplaced and it being knocked as well. I think having that support after you graduate is even more important than having it in the uni space. Being the newest member of the team is quite daunting. You get a bit, it's me against the world. You always think about the worst case scenarios and you kind of just need somebody to counteract that. It's nice just to realise that there are people around you that can offer you support.
Colleagues who can push you, can boost you.
Being able to speak to your academic advisor.
Your network of friends.
Knowing that somebody has your back, yeah.
It's okay to ask for help. Your well-being is important. Act now. Allow time for well-being. Consider the needs of your colleagues. Take action.